Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to episode 2 of my YouTube channel. This is a presentation on a PowerPoint. My name is Dumisani and I am an HR officer as well as a third year student at Boston Media House. I've already done my YouTube channel, but this now is just a presentation on what I have covered before. Okay. So what we are going to be covering on this PowerPoint is that I will be doing an introduction of who I am. Obviously, they always say that to have a powerful introduction, you need to tell a joke. Well, unfortunately, I do not have a joke, but what I can tell you is that I am an HR professional. I'm a third year student at Boston Media House, and I am here to actually give some tips and advice to your second year and your third year students, which is my audience, on how they can actually prepare themselves to enter into the world of work. So on this presentation, we'll also be covering those type of tools on how they need to prepare themselves, and I'll be reflecting on the current host organization, which is the current company that I'm working for, which is Lwendo Group. It's a company that is within the logistics and the manufacturing industry. Looking at my background, I come from a totally different background, but we will touch base on that, and I will look at a couple of scenarios where I have felt very challenged at my current workplace, and also I will tap into my own individual strengths that has enabled me to actually be able to do my job better, and look at some of the areas that I can improve on, as well as what are the impacts business unit, which is a headcount of plus minus 62 employees. These 62 employees, they are your truck drivers, they are your mechanics, and they are your administrators as well as your cleaners. So what are the tools necessary that you need for you to be ready or to prepare yourself as you enter into the world of work? Obviously, we need CVs, which is number one. You need to make sure that you do your CV, all right, and you do your CV proper. Okay, and as soon as you get that phone call that says that come for an internship, as soon as you get that phone call that says come for an interview, you need to make sure that you actually prepare yourself for these interviews. It's quite important that you need to do your research about the company. You need to understand in terms of what are the services that they're going to be offering, what products do they sell, who do they sell it with, the department that you're going to be supporting. You need to find out in terms of what is it that that department does, what is their expectations, the people that are going to be there in terms of the panel, who is going to be interviewing you, who's going to be in the panel of interview, what kind of companies do they come from, and what positions do they currently hold in that organization. And quite importantly, as a potential candidate, you need to make sure that at the end of your interview, you ask some relevant questions. This is going to show some interest to them that you are interested in actually joining the company and the organization. Okay, so me reflecting on Lwendo Group, which is the current organization, as I've told you that my background comes from financial sector, which is a very quite strict sector, the banking sector as well as the insurance sector. Coming into this organization where they deal with, it's a logistics company, manufacturing company, and we're dealing with a lot of blue collar employees, which means that we hire a lot of truck drivers. We hire a lot of drivers, even though you're not a truck drivers. We hire a lot of mechanics, and majority of our employees, they do not have the minimum educational requirement that most firms look for, which is your matric or your diploma or your degree. We're just looking for a skill set. So therefore, this is a different type of a market that I am actually looking after. Okay, coming into this and this department or this division, obviously I had to play a part in developing some HR policies. I had to introduce some organizational change management, which has been quite a challenging task for me, because the people that I'm dealing with currently, it's people that are not used to change. And we all know that change is actually quite difficult. So these are some of the difficulties or challenges that I had to work on coming into this department, where we had to introduce technology or technology devices to our employees. Bear in mind that these are people that are not used to social media. These are people that are not on Twitter, people that are not on Facebook. Majority of them, they do not have smartphones, or they can't have they can't make use of devices like laptops and so forth. So for me, it has been quite challenging, because I had to slowly introduce some technology devices which are beneficial for the company, because we have to move from paper to digital. The world is moving into a digital world. So our drivers as well, our mechanics, everything that they do, they need to make sure that it gets to be captured digitally and not making use of paper. So that kind of change management, and as well as implementing some policies and procedures that needs to be followed, it has been some quite a very challenging situation for me. However, I think I do have identified some strengths in me and some areas of improvement. I think one of my strengths is that I've always been a teacher at heart. I love teaching. I wish I was a teacher. I see myself 4 or 5 years to come actually being a lecturer as well, which is quite interesting. But I'm very passionate about training and development, so I do find time to actually train my employees, equip them with the necessary tools, give them reminder trainings now and again, and it comes at ease for me. One of my strengths as well, which I find, is that I am a team player. So that means that being a team player, you need to be seen as one. You must not be seen as HR, the the superior, but you need to be seen as one in an organization. And of course, I also had to change my management style. I come from environments where I used to obviously give instructions, those were followed, which is was quite a very autocratic management style. But right now I find myself that I had to adapt, implementing a democratic management style, where I actually have to get people involved in terms of the decision making. So this course, or this module, for me has had a very huge impact. Experiential learning, it has been a refresher training course for me personally, in terms of how to be a team player. And also it has also reminded me on how to how do I build rapport with my fellow colleagues as well as my teammates, irrespective of what the target is. How do I actually win the target audience, so that we become a winning team. And I think also it has helped me to actually encourage my employees to participate and express their ideas as drivers, hence I've said, in terms of any decision making that needs to be made, that is going to affect them and actually affect the organization in a nutshell. So yes, this is episode 2 of a PowerPoint presentation. And yes, my name is Dumisani, an HR professional.